Hi Gemini, welcome to your June 2023 Astro Tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Gemini, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. And also, if you're only going to watch one of these, make sure it's the one for your ascendant. It's likely to be the most accurate. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, on June the 6th, Venus, the lady of love, beauty, harmony, is coming into the third house. Now, the third house is a house that you have a lot of affinity with because it is effectively the house in the chart that is ruled by Gemini, right? Now, Venus moving into the third house can sweeten your words. If there's things that you want to, now you've already got the gift of the gab, we know that about you. But if you've got something you want to ask for, this is the time to do it. It can enhance all of your communications. It can really help you. If you've got a website, this can help you spruce it up and make something truly beautiful. If you've got a chance here as well to create some unimaginable beauty, especially with your hands and your own skills. This can can also help make your daily living and commute much easier, much nicer. Maybe you're forging connections on the way to work more easily, making friends more easily, you know, building a network of some kind, especially on that sort of local level. This is really great for that. Now, Venus is going to be here for a good while, for 4 months actually. So she's starting a 4-month transit. So what stands out is that connections with siblings might grow closer if you've got them. If not, then it's likely to be neighbors or people that are in your sort of local environment. Your local environment might become a place of much more pleasure and enjoyment. And it's also likely that money can come from and through local connections, siblings and or neighbors. So if you have kind of like any ideas where you think, you know what, I'd like to work with this person on whatever, that could be really lucrative for you at this time. So to clarify on this, what does Tarot have to tell you about Venus moving into your third house? All right, and for this you have the Page of Cups, right? So this suggests it's going to be very artsy, very creative. It's also likely to be something that opens your heart up in a sense. Also follow your instincts, especially where it comes to communications that you're having in your local area. If you see things or you get invites to local events and stuff that are going on, go, because you could get so much out of them at this time. And with that 8 of Wands, this suggests that in some way, shape or form, there's something that a lot of you want to learn, and it's like you're kind of ready to get into it. This may very well be where a teacher shows up for you, and then you've got the Ace of Wands. So you're definitely embarking on some new endeavor that maybe has a learning slant to it that helps you feel like, yes, you know what, this new skill is going to take me, my work, my job, my business, maybe even just my home life or my relationship, to the next level. Be open to it. There's so much creative energy here, and to be completely honest with you, this is going to be a lot of fun. For the 11th of June, Mercury, your ruling planet, comes home to your sign. This is going to be good for all of us because Mercury is going to be in a space that it loves to be in, that it knows what it's doing in, right? This is where the Mercury can Mercury, okay? Your ruling planet is coming home to your sign. Mercury is in a great space here. It's going to see you feeling at your best. Your words are going to be strong. You're going to be powerful. This is where your gift of the gab becomes the golden tongue, right? It's also likely that you're going to be communicating more of your identity with the world. So maybe you're finding ways to cash in on who you are, what you offer, and not in like a I'm selling myself, you should buy kind of way, but in more of a like, This is who I am. This is how I can help. This is what I'm made of. This is what I'm built for. And it's like you're monetizing your identity in some way. Now, your ruler, Mercury, is the ruler of business, commerce, which means you're finding a way to monetize your identity. So I love that. Now, some of all of this could take shape very quickly. Mercury itself is a very quick energy. And Mercury moving into the sign of Gemini, which is your sign. Gemini is a very fast energy. So this could be really, it could be a very busy time, and you are going to be in hot demand. Like your phone, honey, you're going to need to put that thing on silent because you're about to be busy. For this, you've got the Five of Swords. Okay, so you need to be discerning about what opportunities you take, and if you are sharing certain things that have other people's stories attached to them, just make sure you grab their permission first. Because in all the melee and the excitement, you might be like, oh my gosh, I've got to share this. And you put all this stuff out, and then maybe a family member or a sibling or a spouse or a partner or even one of your kids comes to you and says, hey, listen, I know what you're doing is absolutely great and you're loving it, but actually that was really personal and I'd rather not be a part of what you're sharing. So just be careful with that. You've got this with the Three of Swords. Okay, so I'm going to tell so in this deck it's called the Witch, but this card is actually the Magician. And what this tells me with the Three of Swords and the Five of Swords in tow, as much trouble as you potentially get into this month is as much of it as you probably talk your way out of as well. So it's like you could this could get you in trouble and out of trouble. And if you're anything like me, all of this is going to betray how you really feel. So just be mindful that you can school your face, right? All in all, though, I actually really like this. And with that Magician card there, with the Three of Swords, I think this is you letting go of a version or a story of yourself that you've told yourself and the world for a very long time, and you are dropping it. Like you're letting it go fully so that you can really stand in your own power and really start to amplify your presence and your growth. Now, on the 19th of June, Saturn is going retrograde, but it's going to be an exact sextile to Jupiter. If Jupiter is happiness, growth, expansion, abundance, jovial energy of laughter and joy, Saturn is the opposite of that. It's constriction, restriction, limitation, confinement. But because they're in such a harmonious energy, this is like building for the long term in a way that lasts, right? It's not pie in the sky, which as much as I love Jupiter can sometimes promise more than it actually delivers, or it gives us so many opportunities that we end up dropping them all. Whereas Saturn will basically say, I'm only going to offer you this one thing, and providing you work hard and you walk over all of the hills and valleys that I put in front of you for this damn carrot on a stick, I will give you this thing. So what happens when both of those energies come together? This is great. Now for you, this is happening in your 12th house and your 10th houses, right? So Jupiter in your 12th house, and Saturn retrograde in your 10th house. An opportunity is coming back into your world through your work, your career, or maybe even a reconnection of some kind. A second shot at something that maybe has come to an end. Maybe you thought, it could be as well for some of you, you're completing a project that you've been working on or reaching the end of that time with. And it's like, I like this for giving you a really powerful push towards redefining your career or the destination that you feel pulled to go in. Jupiter in your 12th is going to be, Jupiter in the 12th is what I like to call real guardian angel energy, because the 12th house is the hidden realm. It's the spiritual stuff. It's the side of life that is intangible. And Jupiter represents protection, healing. So you could be getting all of these things coming into your world now. Blessings will just show up for you usually when you've got Jupiter in the 12th, right? Or they'll come from places or spaces from your past where you're like, huh? Like, that was 5 years ago. And this person's like, yeah, I just felt I really needed to say thank you for that. So here's this gift. And you're like, okay, I'll take it. It will, so the opportunity that comes back into your world work-wise will probably require you to believe in yourself and your abilities in order to meet any task, right? So you're usually quite happy-go-lucky about everything, and that usually works for you. Here though, you will need to cultivate a more serious energy, and you will need to show up in a way that's consistent and dedicated. So it's like the happy-go-lucky, that will help, but it's not going to solve it. You have to have a really deep belief in yourself, your tasks, yourself and your abilities to meet your tasks head on. For this, you've got the Ten of Swords. So there's definitely, right, because it's the 12th house involved here. So there's definitely a release or a letting go of something from your past. And you've got this with the Moon card. So this is definitely some part of your past, your history is going away. And look at that, right? I think these two transits are going to work in tandem. There's something going on here that you are releasing something big. And when you cough this one up, look at that. You've got so in this deck, it's called the Green Man, but this is actually the Fool card, which means you're getting a powerful reset. So I would say that Jupiter, Saturn sextile, whatever comes to an end or whatever you complete, let it be complete, let it come to an end. And then have your hands open and ready to receive all of the new stuff that the universe is wanting to bring in for you. This could be great. Now, on the 22nd of June, Venus, Mars, and Venus, Mars, and the Moon are all coming into a triple conjunction in your third house, the house that you have the most affinity with. A pile up of planets in this space, especially in the third house is where the Moon exalts. So the Moon likes the third house because it's the day-to-day, right? And Lunar is all about the material realm. So the world in its practicality, effectively. So this means you're going to be busy. Venus here rules your 12th house and your 5th house, so bringing pleasure, enjoyment. Mars is the ruler of your 11th and your 6th houses, which bringing pleasure and communicative sheen to your work, to your connections. And the Moon, as the ruler of your 2nd house, is ensuring that all of this synthesizes into a fun, energetic and experiential kind of moment. So this triple conjunction, I think, is going to be great for everyone. And the reason I've highlighted this is because it's 3 personal planets. So this transit will not go unnoticed. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will be loud, but it will produce something that you can see very clearly. All right, so for this, you have the 10 of Pentacles. You better bring me this money. All right, and then you've got the 10 of Cups. I mean, save some good cards for everybody else, will you? And then you've got the High Priestess. I mean, look, right, it breaks down like this. Okay, money, finances, resources, emotional contentment and happiness are all about to start showing up in your world, and probably all at once. It's kind of like, and it's interesting because it's 3 planets, right? And it's usually buses. I don't know if you ever had this thing where it's like you wait for a bus for hours and then all of a sudden 3 buses show up at once. This is kind of like the spiritual or life equivalent of that. And that High Priestess is, yes, it's hidden things revealed, but it's also spiritual insight and wisdom. Your intuition can really lead you to some amazing spaces now. And I love this triplet for you. So 2 10s. 2 10s represents change, and usually it's a big change at that. This is a big change coming in for you that you're not likely to see until it's ready, like until it presents itself. And look, because you've got the 10 of Swords above these 2 10s, you've got 3 10s. 3 10s represents a new matter. This is something completely brand new. The Fool card, you're getting a reset. Remember what I said, right? So all of this, that's one story. But then this and this, like there's something new coming in here for your world that I think is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And because it's all happening in that 3rd house, it's likely to be in your environment. Like you won't be able to, like there's no way you can miss this because it's going to be so prominent. Love it. All right, so for your moons, so on the 4th of June, you have the new moon in the sign of, on the 4th of June, you have the full moon in the sign of Sagittarius, which for you is in your 7th house because it is opposite your sign. And for this, you have the gate 5 and patience. So when it comes to partnerships, relationships, connections, collaborations, and contracts, find your patience. The message behind this is, you see the frog on the lily? It will wait as long as it needs to because it knows there is always another meal to come, right? Partnerships, connections, collaborations, contracts, whatever or whoever is leaving this month, let them go because there are new things, new places, new people, new energies on their way in for you that are going to more than make up for it. And then finally for on the 18th of June, on the 18th of June, we have a new moon in your sign. This is your new moon. You get one new moon, one full moon per sign per year. This is your new moon, right? And look at that. You've got the gate 3 and begin. And the message behind this is whatever has a difficult beginning usually ends up having a phenomenal future. And I love this for you because this is your new moon. This is a reset for you. You're getting new life, new energy, new vitality, new insights. And in some way, shape or form, you are being reborn. So I love this for you. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Don't forget, you want to be on this the Bounty of Regal Venus webinar. You can get that on the link in the description box below. You'll be seeing it all over my socials, and check out the community tab as well, because I'll be talking about it there. With that said, take care, and I'll see you soon.